The booster boxes from the Sword and Shield Alt Art era have launched upwards in price. We saw Fusion Strike jump from $480 to $720 in the span of 1 month. Astral Radiance jumped from $265 to $400 in the past month as well. And finally, Evolving Skies jumped from $1,350 to $1,650 in that same month. But the lowest listing on TCG Player is $2,000, and we're regularly seeing them sell on eBay for close to this amount. Without a doubt, this is one of the best eras of Pokemon ever, and the pricing and the demand reflect it. This recent booster box boom reflects a trend that we often see in Pokemon sets. Usually, the first product for a set to move upwards in price is the booster box. It usually leads the charge, and if the rate of change is high, meaning it gained a lot of value in a short period of time like we've seen with these Sword and Shield sets, we'll see a lag period where products like ETBs are still at that lower price range and haven't been repriced upwards to match with the booster box. Over time, this evens out and the ETBs catch up. I call this concept rubber banding. I'm sure there's an official term for it, but this is the term I use because the booster box makes the move upwards, it stretches the rubber band, the ETBs lag behind, but then they slingshot forward and catch up. Now, before I talk about what ETBs are likely to boom next, we have to talk about how ETBs have performed historically compared to booster boxes. The first example I'll bring up is the XY Evolutions ETB from back in 2016. These got printed super heavily, and we saw reprints lasting for a really long time, and they were on shelves, I think, all the way up until 2020. These ETBs come with 8 packs, and they're worth around $350. As an aside, look at the market depth on these. There are only 6 Charizard ones left on the market and only 3 left below $500. I made a video just a couple weeks ago talking about the potential for these to grow a ton in price over the coming months with Mega Evolutions being reintroduced into the TCG, and back then we saw way more listings below $400. But with the market thinning like it is, I think we could see these jump up in price in the next month or two. But that's a tangent for another video. Anyways, at $350, the price per pack on these is $43.75 per pack. Now let's compare that to the booster box, which is valued at $1,200 on TCG Player. With 36 packs in a booster box, our price per pack comes out to $33.33. Lots of people will tell you that booster boxes outperform ETBs and that ETBs are a second-tier investment and booster boxes are the way to go 100% of the time. But often when we break it down by price per pack, ETBs perform just as well and sometimes do better. Now you may say that XY Evolutions is super old and it can't be equated to Sword and Shield era sets, so let's move forward in time a little bit. Let's look at Team Up. Right now the Team Up ETB is valued at $1,200, which is crazy. That is insanely expensive for a regular ETB that comes with 8 packs. When we break it down by price per pack, that is $150 per pack. The booster box, on the other hand, is $4,500. When we break that down by price per pack, it's $125 per pack. Now you may say that is still too old, so let's look at Battle Styles ETBs. Right now these are valued at $65, and with 8 packs we get a price per pack of $8.13. The booster box for Battle Styles is valued at $205, and with 36 packs we get a price per pack of $5.70. This is a Sword and Shield Alt Art era ETB with a higher price per pack compared to the booster box. FYI, so you know I'm not cherry picking here, Vivid Voltage and Darkness Ablaze also share the same trend where the price per pack on an ETB is higher than the booster box. And the reason I'm not using Scarlet and Violet era ETBs for this example is because they're still being printed, they're still being stocked on shelves, there's significantly more volatility, and secondly, they also come with a promo card which has value in it of itself. But back to the main point, why is the price per pack of an ETB as good, if not better, than a booster box? Well, for one, ETBs are amazing sealed display products. Many collectors like to put them up on their shelves for display. I mean, I do this. I have a whole wall of ETBs behind me because it looks great on these videos. Or at least I think so. If you think it's ugly, let me know. But secondly, they're also much more affordable, so more people are willing to buy them. Much more people are willing to buy an XY Evolutions ETB for $350 compared to the amount of people that are willing to pay $1,200 for an XY Evolutions booster box. It doesn't make sense on a price per pack standpoint, but that's where human psychology is a little bit weird. People are much more willing to spend the same amount of money on a bunch of smaller purchases compared to 2 or 3 big purchases. These huge purchases often give people a lot of anxiety, and breaking it down into smaller purchases of a bunch of ETBs versus one booster box makes people feel much more comfortable. Well, thank you for your patience in getting through the prologue of this video, because here's the payoff. The first ETB that I think has a lot of price discrepancy and a lot of room to grow in the next couple months is the Evolving Skies ETB. Each ETB is around $270 regardless of the artwork. This comes out to $33.75 per pack, which is a hefty price. If you want to calculate it with what they're currently selling for, which is $2,000, this comes out to $55 per pack. However, for the sake of argument and not being overzealous, let's go with a lower number of $46 per pack. Since we know that ETBs end up with a price per pack similar, if not higher than their booster box, we could infer that this ETB has a lot of room to grow. If the Evolving Skies ETBs were to match the booster box in terms of price per pack, they'd be valued at $370 per ETB. And if they were to match the price per pack for what the Evolving Skies ETBs are currently selling for, which is $55 per pack, that would be $440 per ETB. I think that these ETBs will move past $300 in the next month and then make their way up to $350 by the end of the summer. Another ETB discrepancy we should observe is with Lost Origin. The booster box for this set is $525, which is crazy. This comes out to a price per pack of $14.60. The ETB is valued at $98, which has a price per pack of $12.25. This isn't insane by any means, but it is definitely a discrepancy. This is also one of those ETBs that I could see having a higher price per pack compared to the booster box because of the sealed desirability. This is one of the coolest looking ETB designs we've ever gotten, in my opinion. I mean, look at the Giratina, look at the colors, it's so cool. But right now, if we were to estimate the value of this ETB based off the price per pack of the booster box, it would be at $117, not at $98. Astral Radiance is also a similar story, where the ETB is worth $77 and the booster box is valued at $400. Based off this, we'd estimate that the ETB would be valued at around $90. Now, that is a fairly small discrepancy, but where I see the big moves coming are with the Pokemon Center ETBs. Evolving Skies Pokemon Center ETBs are regularly selling for upwards of $700. There is no promo in these ETBs and they only come with 10 packs. This comes out to a price per pack of $70. $70 per pack is insane, and the reason that it's so high is because sealed collectors crave the exclusivity and the unique artwork on these Pokemon Center ETBs. Almost no one is opening these Pokemon Center ETBs because it's simply not worth it. You're better off just opening packs from a regular ETB. When we look at Lost Origins Pokemon Center ETB, we see something similar. These are valued at $200, which makes their price per pack $20. Might I remind you that the price per pack from a booster box is only $14.60. Again, the Pokemon Center ETB blows it out of the water. Now let me show you a Pokemon Center ETB that I think has immense potential for growth. The Astral Radiance Pokemon Center ETB is valued at $108, which comes out to a price per pack of $10.80. And this is actually lower than the booster box, which has a price per pack of $11.10. The reason that these ETBs are so cheap is because they lasted on the Pokemon Center the longest. However, I think this ETB has everything going for it. It's of a super cool and well-loved Pokemon in Darkrai. The color scheme here is wild. I mean, this thing looks insane in person, and the void or black hole behind the Darkrai is just so cool. This is an ETB that I could see jumping to $150 per in a couple months. The only other Pokemon Center ETB that I think is in a similar spot to Astral Radiance's is Brilliant Stars. Right now, this is a $125 ETB, and the Brilliant Stars booster box is around $430. However, the reason that I'm not as bullish on the Brilliant Stars Pokemon Center ETBs is because I think the Astral Radiance ones look way cooler. And as we know with Sword and Shield Pokemon Center ETBs, the reason they have a premium is because of the front. It's because of the displayability. Like, yes, the packs inside matter, but Brilliant Stars and Astral Radiance are fairly comparable sets. What really matters for the Pokemon Center ETB is how cool it looks on your shelf. And FYI, these are the only 2 Pokemon Center ETBs ever with a price per pack lower than the booster box. Even Chilling Reign's Pokemon Center ETBs, which have Calyrex on the front, have a higher price per pack compared to the booster box. Right now, those are $150 a piece. And if you put them side by side with Astral Radiances, or Brilliant Stars for that matter, I think it's clear which ones look cooler. Now, that is all the data that I have to throw at you guys today. I hope this video was informative or helpful, and if you agree or disagree with my logic, let me know down in the comments. And also let me know, what Pokemon products are you guys investing in? But that's all I got for today, so as always, thank you guys so much for watching and stay safe out there.